Unfortunately, we don't have time. Femi Oguntoye, our colleague in Abuja, is standing by to continue this special coverage of the one-year anniversary of this administration. Femi, good morning.
Good morning, Veronica, Ibrahim, and Sam. Fantastic conversation you've been having since morning. And by the way,
Absolutely.
happy celebrations. If indeed you consider it a celebration. Some are saying that you need to look beyond the first year of the Tinubu administration, but consider that we're looking at 25 years of unbroken democratic rule. Welcome
Absolutely.
to
And
our Abuja studio.
right. I was going to say that
Veronica.
I asked... Yes, I was going to say that the Minister of Information actually talked about Nigerians having more patience with the current administration, because we had to ask that question: how much longer can Nigerians breathe or wait, as it is that they feel that they are under pressure for a lot of things? But the minister says that Nigerians should still have faith, because the turn we are taking now is quite a difficult one till we get to the third mainland bridge, like you mentioned earlier on.
I need to say that this is the first time I'm seeing you in the morning. You're always in the evening. I look more buoyant in the morning.
I'm always in the evening.
Well, that's why anyway, on the issue of faith, you know the Bible says, let patience have its perfect work, so that we can be full and entire, wanting nothing.
All right.
So, thank you very much, Femi.
Over to you now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Fantastic. However, they say when patience becomes too long, it becomes long suffering. So it's 1 out of 4 years. The big question is, how long more can Nigerians wait? Welcome to the Abuja studio, everyone. It's our special coverage of the May 29 celebrations. I am Femi Oguntoye. Exactly 1 year ago, President Bola Tinubu was sworn in as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And for many Nigerians, this first year inaugural anniversary presents big opportunity to assess just how far the much promising Tinubu's administration has gone, particularly when you consider his promise of inspiring hope for millions of Nigerians. So on the program, we'll examine how far President Tinubu's administration has gone in fulfilling his renewed hope agenda, and also how well his ministers and every other individual heading one parastatal or the other has fared in the past 1 year. Our Deputy Bureau Chief is also right here with me. It doubles as the State House Correspondent. Femi Akande. Abuja is wearing a new look. Yesterday we saw the inauguration of the Southern Parkway, which has been around for 13 years. They say Wike is a performer, and it seems the president is also proud of what he's doing.
Yes, indeed. I would say that Abuja, the federal capital city, has not seen this kind of rapid construction, or should I say road infrastructure development within a short period of time, within a short space. What we see most times maybe just one project ongoing at a time. Indeed. But as it's the federal capital now, a lot of the inner cities of inner part of Abuja has been developed over time, from the time of President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. It even dates back to President Olusegun Obasanjo. Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan also did his part, including President Muhammadu Buhari. Also, his administration also did their part in building infrastructure here in the FCT. But within 1 year, the pace of work we have seen within 1 year in the FCT is unprecedented. And that's why, President Bola Tinubu is also saying, well, it's time for him to brag, with the kind of infrastructure we're seeing in the FCT. All of that has given him that bragging right. And, even the feedback he's getting from the people in the FCT, people are happy.
Just hold that thought for a minute. I need to inform our viewers that you can also watch this conversation online on our YouTube platform. If you're interested in watching your view, that's also going to be available on the local channel TVC. The conversation is ongoing on Sky UK channel 524. So you don't want to miss the blow update of events across Abuja and indeed Nigeria today. The interesting thing about the Abuja project for me is the fact that I'm concerned about continuity, because many of these projects are not necessarily brand new. The Southern Parkway was started 13 years ago. The Abuja Metro Rail project is also more or less like a relaunch. Yeah. So what's happening? How come they start projects, they don't finish it? And how much confidence do we have that even though we are seeing an inauguration today, it's going to be sustained?
Yeah, well, they say government is a continuum.
Should be.
Yes, and one thing that has been difficult for some governments or past administrations is access to funds, especially how they manage all of these resources they have. In some cases, they also have to prioritize which project particularly needs attention and what multiplier effect will it have on the population. So they usually go for projects with a huge multiplier effect. For instance, some of them do like a scale of preference. For some, they would rather carry out a project in Kano or in Lagos that will affect millions of people than deploy resources to an FCT that already has a significant amount of infrastructure when it comes to road and all of that. And then the multiplier effect in FCT would just be, will not be up to half of those that will be directly affected in Lagos. That's without prejudice to the people of the FCT, not that they do not deserve government development and all of that. Yes, and so, for the metro line, the Southern Park Lane and all of that, it also shows the political will of this administration. We listened to the Minister of Information and National Orientation speak shortly before we entered the studio, talking about the political will of the administration, because some other administrations met that project on ground, met these projects on ground, and did not...
they looked the other way.
Yes, they looked the other way. For whatever reasons, they might be able to explain that. But this administration has come, and, those are the low-hanging fruits, Nifemi. These are the low-hanging fruits, deploy resources to all of these uncompleted projects and complete it within a short time. Nigerians will definitely applaud them for it. And the impact it will have in the FCT, especially when you look at this metro line. FCT has a problem with security, especially this crime committed in taxis. We call it the one chance here in the FCT. It's very rampant in the FCT, even though recently that has been drastically reduced, and that's due to cooperation and the joint effort of security operatives in the FCT. But with this metro line now, safety of commuters will be guaranteed. And to also fix a big problem of the FCT, which is transportation, public transportation. FCT has a poor public transport system. There is no mass transit. There are no rail lines. Even the taxis are not, they are still inadequate. And even in most cases, you would likely get into trouble by entering the wrong taxi.
Absolutely. In a short while, we're going to bring you live transmission from across Nigeria. The May 29th celebration is not just limited to Abuja, so we'll be joining Zamfara very briefly. But you can continue to watch this on YouTube, TVC News Nigeria. You can also watch on Sky UK channel 524. You don't want to miss any part of it. Interesting way the FCT minister has put it is called it a 9-day inauguration of the FCT project, and we've also seen President Tinubu, even in Lagos, also inaugurating some special projects. But it's beyond just Abuja, and I think that the opinions of Nigerians are sharply divided as to how this administration has performed vis-a-vis its 8-point agenda of renewed hope last year. I don't know how to put it really, but I've heard some of the ministers say what we're feeling right now are just early birth pangs, promising that a newborn will come. But it's a 4-year tenure. Do you think that May 29 also brings this government to the awareness of how fast time is ticking? Do you think they're under pressure to also, pick up steps in delivering their campaign promises?
Under pressure, I would say yes, because they know what is at stake. Nigerians will be the judge. And as government, they want to perform to win the trust of Nigerians, because every government wants to win the next election. And you can only win the next election when you have something to show Nigerians as your scorecard, as what you have done, what you have been able to achieve within a period of time. But another thing this government has been able to tell Nigerians again is that they inherited a bad economy, and that they are doing everything possible. They are doing their best to manage a bad situation and prevent it from getting worse. We have seen them do that. And if I mean, these images we have seen are pictures of the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, the new look it's wearing at the moment, where you can see people going, painting the road medians of the newly constructed roads and bridges in the FCT. The streets are now well lit at night. Street lights, solar powered street lights, and in some cases generator powered street lights are now ensuring that our streets are well lit and also improve security at night in most of these areas. And some of these areas also used to be hot spots for crime, robberies and one chance and all of that. Yes,
you talked about the fact that, this administration met a troubling economic situation. In all fairness, they knew. And I remember that on Inauguration Day, Mr. President actually did say, I cannot complain. I'm sure that they came into power with full awareness of what the problems are, the economic troubles. So I don't think that will be an excuse that the average Nigerian would take.
Well, for an average Nigerian, they would take no excuses. I know the government has been trying to, even some of these government officers have been trying to maybe make some excuses here and there. But what Nigerians want is service delivery, good governance. We understand you inherited a bad economy. We know what happened at the twilight of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Indeed. With the whole currency crisis, trying to change from one currency to another, with all that happened with the CBN, Godwin Emefiele. We are seeing all of that unravel now in the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. So that also gives a clear picture of how bad the situation was. So it might also be that, for the President Bola Tinubu administration, yes, they understand that, yes, they are coming at a time when things are quite difficult for Nigerians, but they never anticipated that it will be this bad. It's when they got to the hands of affairs that, they had unfettered access to certain information, certain classified information that ordinarily no government will share with another. It does not matter if it's an incoming government. Another thing is we also do not know what was in the handover notes, if indeed the previous administration clearly spelled out.
Was open enough.
Yes, was open enough in terms of spelling out what they have in the coffers. That's in terms of what they have in Nigeria's treasury and what they are handing over, the state of the nation that they are handing over to the next administration, which is President Bola Tinubu's administration. But, well, it's all good, and President Bola Tinubu is at the saddle now, and he's the man in charge. The buck stops at his table. Nigerians will take no excuses.
All through today, we have lined up critical stakeholders in his administration, and we're hopeful to ask them some questions that will help Nigerians understand the inner workings of this administration. Some of them, in all honesty, stood out. When President Tinubu also came to power, it was very clear as to reviewing the performance of his administration. We've seen that happen in the past few days. And Nigerians are also looking forward to how that will end, because every Nigerian has a perception of how they think a member of cabinet is performing. And then there's also an office that is specially created to review all those performance. Do you think that we should anticipate some major shakeups in the coming days based on the current sectorial ministerial briefing we've seen?
Well, it's hard to predict President Bola Tinubu. No one knows what he has up his sleeves. Even his ministers will tell you that they do not know what to expect. Everyone is on their toes to ensure that they deliver on the mandate given to them by President Bola Tinubu. We have seen them make moves to ensure that their ministries are up and doing the goals, targets, and objectives given to them are achieved within that measurable time. A lot of them, we do not know exactly how long, what is that time frame given to them before they are assessed, before their performance is assessed. We also know that Hadiza Bala Usman, whose responsibility it is to monitor their performance and report back to the president, has also been very busy. She also came up with a model that would ensure that would make Nigerians also get involved in assessing
in the evaluation process.
Yes, in the evaluation process, evaluating the performance of all of these ministers. This would also create inclusion, give people a sense of belonging. That yes, indeed, if I don't like what this minister is doing or the way he is performing or carrying out his duty, I can then go on that platform and then say it as it is. So yes, everyone understands that. There are some people that would say it's hard to say, but some people would say that, well, we expect a shake-up after this May 29 anniversary. who knows, maybe at the next Federal Executive Council meeting, it might just be announced that, well, the president will be doing some shake-off and onboarding of new people. And you also know that the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation has not, that slot has not been filled after Betta Edu was suspended. And also the position of the Minister of Labour is also vacant because the minister that was there, Simon Bako Lalong, who was the governor of Plateau State, former governor of Plateau State, contested the Senate and lost, but later was returned in the court. So he has resumed at the National Assembly. Indeed. So those two ministerial positions are vacant as we speak, so we expect the president to fill them up.
By the way, later on the show, we'll be live at the National Assembly with TVC News TJ Adeoye, where President Bola Tinubu will be addressing the lawmakers in a joint session. Let's remind you that it's perhaps the first time in 25 years of Nigeria's fourth republic that a sitting president will be addressing a joint session of the National Assembly to mark the anniversary of the administration, even though we're getting some, conflicting, reports about whether or not it's going to address the sitting. But it's expected to be there, perhaps to launch the new.
Yes, there's going to be a new
National Assembly complex.
Yeah, a National Assembly complex, and then a library that will be launched and also named after President Bola Tinubu. So we're expecting to be there at least to perform that inauguration. But we do not know clearly if indeed he will address a joint session of the National Assembly. But we know that there will be a joint session today where the former Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, who is now Chief of Staff to President Bola Tinubu, will deliver a keynote address. We're also hearing that former military President General Abdulsalami Abubakar will also be there. He was instrumental to midwifing the Fourth Democratic Republic of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We're also hearing that former Senate President, who was the first Senate President in the Fourth Republic, Senator David Mark, will also be there. And some former lawmakers, maybe the likes of Aminu Bello Masari, some prominent lawmakers who probably perhaps are no longer in the National Assembly, will also be given that honor of attending that joint session. It will be interesting to see what will come out of there, Femi.
Democracy Day is now June 12th.
June 12th.
Prior to that time, it is customary to hear Mr. President address the nation on 29th of May. That did not happen early this morning, so the expectations are still high.
Well, I also want to believe that that's why that may be the reason why the presidency is declining to address a joint session of the National Assembly, because he's when in his address he's expected to also talk on his achievements, accomplishments, and what lies ahead for Nigeria and how he intends to steer the affairs of the country moving forward. So it would preempt what to expect in the June 12th address. Absolutely. So I want to believe that may be one of the reasons why they declined.
But one thing is certain, this administration needs to speak more to the people.
Yes, indeed.
Explain itself, its policies. The president has been talking about the need for Nigerians to keep faith and to hold on to hope, and also believe that. I remember speaking with the project director of the presidential CNG initiative.
Yeah, yesterday.
And that's also one of the things he highlighted yesterday. There's going to be a nationwide deployment happening today across the nation. Some remarkable improvement in that regard. Not many of the targets have been met, but they are quite optimistic that before the end of the year, they will be able to roll out all of these CNG buses and tricycles promised. But most importantly is also the conversion unit of he mentioned that you can now save as much as 70% on petrol if you convert your car to be CNG powered. Yeah. But I remember also asking him how much it will cost, and it's about 750,000
to convert. That's a lot.
So that's quite a lot. Femi, thank you so much. We're going to be here till evening.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be a long day.
A long day.
And I'm also looking forward to it.